Hey y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin-baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
In Louisiana, 3 police officers and 2 civilians are shot in a standoff at a home. In Massachusetts, a man is convicted of killing his father during a pond baptism, and in Charlotte, 4 law enforcement officers are killed in a shootout. These stories and more coming at you today, Wednesday, May 1st, on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
Woody Overton.
Woody Overton, the traveling Woody Overton.
The traveling Woody Overton. Y'all, if you hear a little, it's not as good as it is in the studio, but sometimes we just have to do it like this, right?
That's right. But we're not going to make them wait for the crime news because you're traveling and things of that nature. So
no, we got to have a true crime time on a true crime show. No roll, no
That's right.
And let's start out with a horrible, horrible story. And it's just crazy. In Charlotte, North Carolina, y'all, 4 police officers serving a warrant for a felon who was, naturally, he was a really bad guy. He was wanted for possessing a firearm, which is a no-no, like 1495E. But they were serving a warrant and they were killed, y'all. And four were killed and 4 of the officers were wounded. And this happened on Monday at a North Carolina home. And some of the officers who rushed to the Charlotte neighborhood to rescue the first wave of downed officers were wounded as a second shooter began firing on them after they killed the wanted man. The chief said, "Today, we lost some heroes who were out simply trying to keep our community safe," said Chief Jennings. And, after a 3-hour standoff, the suburban Charlotte home was torn open as these armored vehicles, and they smashed into it, and they ripped off the windows and ripped out the doors that were left broken. And several armored vehicles were parked across the yard, and some with tree branches dangling off of them. So when they went in after they shot the cops, they went in mass force, right? So the U.S. Marshals Task Force was fired on a wanted suspect as they approached the house. The man was killed in the front yard, and his name was not released, and we wouldn't say a piece of shit name anyway. The chief said he was wanted as a felon for illegally possessing a weapon. Now, a second person then fired on officers from inside the home where a high-powered rifle was found. And a woman and a 17-year-old male were found in the home after the standoff, and they're being questioned. The Marshal Service confirmed one of its agents was killed, and 2 officers from the State Department of Adult Corrections, that's our probation patrol, were also killed. And this according to North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. The governor was in Charlotte and was speaking to the families of the officers who were killed and hurt. In the Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer Joshua Iyer died a few hours later at the hospital. Now, Iyer was named the Officer of the Month for the police force, y'all, just last 2 weeks ago. And the chief said he certainly gave his life and dedicated his life to protecting our citizens. One of the other members of the task force, which is made up of federal agents and other officers from across the region, was injured. 3 other Charlotte Mecklenburg police officers who responded to the scene were shot while trying to rescue the wounded officers. Now, neighbors said the gunfire lasted for several minutes. The TV station said their helicopter captured an armored vehicle driving through yards, knocking over recycling bins before officers were removed. And a person that they removed a person with blood on their shirt who was then loaded onto an ambulance. Now, after the home was cleared, the helicopter pilot said he couldn't show the front lawn of the home because the scene was too graphic and disturbing. A lot of the questions that need to be answered, we don't even know what those questions are now, Jenny said. That's the chief, y'all. A somberly briefing reporters less than 4 hours after the shooting. So we have to get a full understanding of why this occurred and also uphold the integrity of the investigation. So many of the roads into the area, including the Interstate 77, were closed. So ambulances could get to the hospitals faster. And TV footage showed ambulances speeding to the hospitals, escorted by vehicles both in the front and behind with their sirens welling. What that means, y'all, the cops that were there and the marked units cleared, they were making sure they could get to the hospital as fast as they could. Recent Rain was cleaning her house when she heard the first shots ring out. There was a pause, then a second set of shots, and then a third. And she stepped outside. She said, when we came outside, there were no cops at all. Then cops started rushing in. And she said, added armored SWAT trucks quickly followed, and they were going over the grass, everything, and they started shooting again. Now, the neighborhood of 1- and 2-story brick homes in small trim lawns is a very safe place, says one of the neighbors on the street. Said, I see like 50 police cars zooming in. Then I hear gunshots, she said. And on the front porch of the house, he shares with his cousin. He said, I was scared because there was so much going on. Another neighbor, William Cunningham, was moved to tears as he sat on his porch. He said he's a veteran Operation Desert Storm, but never expected such violence in his own neighborhood. To bless those officers and bless their families, nobody should get killed over a warrant. It's just horrible, horrible thing, but it happens every day. And this task force, in just 6 years, they've arrested more than 8,900 fugitives in this area. So, and, the 4 heroes, and then all of the heroes tried to save them and everything else, and just, it's like, like a war zone. These guys got up, they went to take a bad guy off the street who they knew were bad, was bad. Basically, they were trying to make the neighborhood safer, and they gave their lives for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, some all give some and some give all.
Yeah.
So our heart prayers go out to them, right?
Amen. And, true heroes. And you've said it how many times on this show that when you're a police officer, you put on that uniform in the morning and you don't know if you're coming back.
Right. And, that's never something that's foremost in your mind. You don't put on the uniform and be like, ooh, today might be the day I die. I never did, but it's always in the back of your mind that, you're doing a job, dangerous job in the world.
Yeah. Wow. Prayers to those families.
That's crazy.
Well, I wish I wouldn't move on right to another police shooting, but one occurred right here in Louisiana that we're going to tell you about. A gunman has died after wounding 3 Louisiana police officers during a standoff in Kenner. This was on Sunday. Kenner, Louisiana, y'all, is about 15 miles west of New Orleans. The incident happened after police tried to enter the home of a man wanted in connection with the shooting of 2 people earlier in the day. Kenner Police Chief Keith Connolly and Joseph Lapinto of the JPSO, which is the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, held a press conference discussing it. The gunman, identified by police as Michael Lathers, who is 31, was shot dead by a police sniper. During the incident, 3 Kenner Police Department officers were shot, and eventually the suspect was fatally shot. All 3 Kenner police officers are actually now out of the hospital, thank God. There was an outstanding warrant for Lathers in that incident. The warrant was obtained, and the Kenner Police SWAT team arrived on the scene to execute that warrant. The team made entry into the residence and immediately began receiving fire. At least 1 SWAT member returned fire. 3 officers were shot, and it's unknown if Lathers was struck during that initial contact. They haven't released that yet. Following this, police requested the assistance of JPSO, and within minutes, Lathers began shooting at a JPSO armored vehicle in which deputies were stationed. Multiple attempts were made to contact Lathers to open negotiations, but all efforts were unsuccessful. After earlier firing at an armored vehicle, Lathers returned to a position which he could again fire from the vehicle. A JPSO sniper was able to fire at Lathers, who was fatally wounded, and he was pronounced dead at that scene.
Wow. Yeah, that's, again, yeah. I was on the SWAT team, the SRT, whatever they call it now. And I remember when Detective Terry Melanson was working narcotics in Baton Rouge, and it was commonplace. You could serve warrants back then without using the SWAT team. It takes a while. They got to get called out, and they got to get briefed, and they do surveillance on the home and all kinds of different things like that. But when Melanson and them hit the door, it was in Baton Rouge City, and he was killed. Right, and just I hate the word routine, but it was a routine narcotic search warrants like they were doing every day. And after that, it came down, we're not, you don't serve any felony, no, not warrant without the SWAT team to do it. Now the SWAT teams are doing it, and of course they're the best trained, and they practice and do it over and over again, but they're still getting shot up.
Yeah.
And people wonder why they have these armored cars. He just said it in JPSO. He fired at the armored car because he knew the cops were in it. And in North Carolina, they had brought in the armored car, thankfully, to be able to shield more victims from further gunfire. It's crazy. I don't know what the hell the people are thinking.
That's right. And, these, with the weapons being so high powered now, a lot of these, the guys that these police are having to deal with are using AK-47s practically, and really high powered rifles, and they'll go right through a regular police car like a tin can,
Right.
So,
and actually even in a regular bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
SWAT guys wear the Kevlar plates on top of their bulletproof vest, but it's still, it's the most powerful rifle you can get, just about. Here's the other thing: you hear all these shootouts, you never hear where the bad guy gets away. I don't know what the hell they think they're going to do. I mean, it's not like you're going to fire on the police, and chances are you're going to get killed. But it's unfortunate that you're a douchebag and you take innocent law enforcement officers with you.
That's right. I agree.
Crazy, man. Crazy times. Well, let me tell you about another one. Let's go to Florida. And a potential serial killer was captured in Florida after 2 women were discovered strangled to death. And this according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said Carlos Yadel Baez Neves, 25, was arrested for the deaths of Beach Flowers, who was 41, and Nicole Daniels, who was 44. And their bodies were found in 2 separate months, y'all. First one in March, and the second one in April. Because of our detectives' relentless efforts in this case, they stopped Baez Neves from becoming a prolific serial killer, according to Orange County Sheriff John Mina. And Baez Neves, I'm killing this guy's name, but Baez Neves was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after he was pulled over during a traffic stop for driving with a suspended license on Friday. Then during the interview with detectives, he told them he had moved to Central Florida from Puerto Rico in 2020, and he confessed, y'all, to both of the murders. Law enforcement added that Neves targeted the most vulnerable women he could, transient women who traded sex for money. And that's common if you go back and listen to Sam Little. It's, harder to get people to come forward or,
and nobody misses them.
Right. And it's, anyway, the sheriff said because he is now off the street, the community is now safer. He targeted women who he clearly thought would not be missed. He murdered them and dumped their bodies on the side of the road like they were trash. We're very, very grateful and thankful for our great detectives who knew that Fajitas and Nicole's lives were meaningful and that they, of course, deserve justice like all of us do. And that's, of course, the sheriff, y'all. The deputy stated on 2 separate occasions, about a month apart, Neves picked up Flowers and Daniels and had sex with them before strangling them to death. He then drove to the intersection and pushed their lifeless bodies out of his truck and drove home. The discovery of both women's bodies in the same location triggered an investigation which revealed other similarities, including both victims being transient in the East Orlando area and both having a history of narcotics usage, and both were found nude or nearly nude. And that's according to the arrest warrant, y'all. Authorities said he is being held without bond, naturally, but on the 2 counts of first-degree murder. And the sheriff said in cases like these, there's the possibility of other victims, and they're working to determine if he was involved in any other incidents elsewhere in the country, which he probably was. He killed 2 women in a month's time. So to me, that is the definition of a serial killer. But I think this is a person who's clearly capable of doing this, and may have done it in the past. And the fact that he targeted women that he thought would not be missed leads you to believe as well that he is a killer, probably will get killed again. That's what Sheriff Mina said. So, I mean, I hate it for those women, but I bet you he does have more bodies on him than that. And you don't just start out, basically raping and choking to death prostitutes and kicking them out like trash.
Right. And, as you said, those are women that they're chosen because they're high risk as far as their lifestyles. And so the perpetrator looks at that as easy targets. They may not be missed. They're, they don't have the family support in a lot of cases that,
Well, I mean, even homes, transients, and they may be sleeping in hotels or doing whatever, and they just move from area to area. And of course, probably a person who lived a normal lifestyle wouldn't have got in a car with this asshole.
Right.
They did it because that was their profession, and they used the money to continue, to stop from getting dope sick, if you will. So,
yeah. Ugh.
Right.
Piece of shit right there.
Right. Well, he won't be killing anymore.
That's right. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I agree with you that there's probably more that's going to come out on this.
Yeah, but they're going to track his movement and then start looking at open cold cases in all these areas, just like Sam Little, who confessed to killing over 90 all throughout the country, and all of them high-risk victims.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Massachusetts. And a jury has found a 22-year-old man guilty of killing his father while performing an exorcism in a local pond in order to rid him of demons. Yep, you heard me right.
Oh, Lord.
This was in Plymouth County, and earlier this week, Jack Callahan was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for the death of his father, Scott Callahan. The jury reached the verdict after an 8-day trial and 25 hours of deliberation. That's a lot. I mean, that's
that is a lot.
An 8-day trial is what would you say the average trial for a murder case is, Woody?
It depends, and I think Louisiana, the average murder trial is so much shorter because we have so many preliminary motions and hearings and all that. So where it may take you 2 or 3 years to get to your trial. In my career, it seemed to me like our murder cases were a lot shorter, 7 days, maybe, something like that. Or like in the OJ cases is a couple months, But the jury being out for 25 hours is not good for the prosecution. The longer they're out, the worse it is for the prosecution. But evidently, they got it on this one.
Yeah, well, in the early morning hours of June 28th, 2021, police.
Hey, y'all, changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensuring my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later. Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Officers responded to a home in Plymouth County, Massachusetts, after someone called to say Jack Callahan, then 19, was acting erratically and saying Scott Callahan was missing. When police arrived at the home, they found Callahan distraught and hyperventilating, the son. Police and EMS were simultaneously responding to a pond and located Scott Callahan, his dad, in the water. He was not responsive, and medics transported him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators learned Callahan got a ride to Boston to pick up his father and return home. Callahan retrieved his dad at a bar after he left an alcohol abuse treatment center. The rideshare service dropped him off near the pond where they got into an argument. Callahan began submerging his father under the water several times, claiming he was baptizing his father because he saw a demon in his eyes. The statement said Callahan left his father floating in that pond. The medical examiner determined Scott Callahan had a cut on his head and water in his lungs. The cause of death obviously was drowning, and manner of death was homicide.
Wow, that's crazy.
They make all types in this world.
Yeah, they killed trying to get out the demons, and I'm pretty sure that guy was the one who had the demons, right? Crazy. And
to drown someone, the rage involved in that, because that person's struggling.
And drown them in the name of Jesus. Yeah. Crazy. I don't get it.
And look, again, we want to say, y'all, I know you're hearing popping every now and then, and we're doing the best we can. So
yeah, but we're still working on it. It's certainly not Jim's fault. All right, y'all. Last week we told you about Glenn Sullivan, a senior who was sentenced to castration. I think 50-something years plus castration for impregnating a 14-year-old, and then the DNA test came back, and of course he can't deny that it was done, right? And I told you I had a long and storied history with him, and there's just a meth deal and piece of shit and everything else. Well, let me tell you about the offspring, and who was one of the characters, and 4 characters in this shitty story. But it's not, it's shitty for the person, for the victim, okay? You know what I hate, Jim Chapman, more than anything? I hate a thief. I'd almost rather deal with a murderer than a thief.
Yep.
But in Holden, Louisiana, which is the same place Glenn Sullivan Senior was from, I can tell you where his house is and everything else. In Holden, Louisiana, 4 men have been arrested for stealing a 28-foot trailer and cutting it up and selling for scrap. All right. Well, I mean, you're taking somebody's livelihood, right? That trailer, and I mean, you have a 28-foot trailer because you're hauling some big ass piece of equipment, right? But investigators say the contractor's trailer was stolen February 1st while it was parked overnight near Holden. According to the report, Larry Carrio, 26, Darren Blunt, 45, I've had history with him, Jason Wadsworth, 27, and Glenn Sullivan Jr., 23. Right? And there you go. They cut up the $25,000 trailer into pieces, and guess how much they got, Jim Chapman?
How much?
$45,000. They got $500 to sell the metal in the local scrapyard. And the detectives were able to recover the trailer's axles, rims, and tires. Well, that doesn't really help, right?
It's not going to do you much good.
Well, they've all been charged with felony theft, and it's just stupid. And some poor guy. That's why we all paying so much in insurance and everything else, because idiots like these won't stop being idiots and steal a trailer, cut it up, take someone's livelihood. Got to file an insurance claim now, and they'll probably all get probation or something.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder how they were able to figure out the trailer aspect, like who it belonged to.
I don't know. Serial numbers. It's just trailers have VIN numbers and hidden VIN numbers on them, just like vehicles do.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where your VIN number is up on your dash in your car, but they have like 6 more hidden on different pieces of the engine and underneath the body and stuff like that. And I know for a fact the trailers have the same thing, because we used to have to go back out. People would buy trailers or make homemade trailers. We would have to go out and certify them that they were roadworthy, et cetera, and give them some type of form where they could take it to the DMV to register it. Now, this homemade trailer don't have all the hidden serial numbers. And then they'll have like a stamp on the hitch or whatever. This 28-foot trailer. I mean, that's long. It's a $25,000 trailer. That's like a car.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. And 28 feet's a long way. So
yeah, they were definitely making a living off of it. These assholes can't go get a job.
Well, we're going to bring you to Colorado, and we've been giving you a lot of reports on police officers. We're going to give you a positive one here. 4 Colorado police officers were dispatched to a home early one morning last week to investigate reports of a woman screaming. None of them could expect what happened next. The Greeley, Colorado Police Department officers arrived at a home about an hour away from Boulder to find the 24-year-old woman actively in labor after her water broke. Almost immediately after they called, EMTs for assistance, they heard a faint cry. The first baby boy had been delivered. That's right. We said the first. But the baby was turning blue. It was a cold day, and it was raining and snowing. One officer located bread ties to tie off the umbilical cord. How about that for MacGyver? While another ran to nearby homes and collected towels and blankets to help keep that baby warm. A third officer, who was still with the new mother, then tied off the umbilical cord and cut it. The fourth officer rushed the baby boy back to his patrol, where it was much warmer. The baby boy did stop breathing while inside the patrol vehicle, prompting the officer to administer infant CPR. Luckily, medics arrived shortly after to help that newborn. That's when the new mother told the officer she was actually expecting 2 more babies. Needless to say, they called for more medical personnel. Now, while the officers were comforting the mother, guess what? The second baby boy was delivered with the assistance of those officers. Officers wrapped that baby up, tied off the umbilical cord, and cut it. Baby number 2 was also rushed to the ambulance, where medical personnel were still tending to the first baby. The mother was brought by ambulance to a local hospital where she was taken into surgery and delivered the final triplet. Her 2 other newborns were taken to the same hospital for medical care. Police said the triplets, who had strong heartbeats, were receiving care in the neonatal intensive care unit. The 24-year-old woman went into labor while home alone, and her phone had died. So she attempted to go to a neighbor's home to call 911. The police chief said he was amazed at the teamwork, ingenuity, and care of the officers who were faced with what you would call a lofty expectation. The success of this call is a success to our officers' training and partnerships with public safety, the chief said. So how about that? Triplets.
Good, huh?
Yeah.
Triplets.
And I'm sure those officers were freaking out when the first one come out, much less the second one. Right. And then a third one's expected. So, had you ever dealt with that? Had you ever had a situation like that?
I was just about to say, all my years, and I've heard of it. I know at least one guy who had to deliver a baby on the side of the road, but triplets? And how does that work? Does the umbilical cord go from one baby to the next baby to the next baby?
I get, and I should know this considering I have twins, but but I'm not even going to try to answer because my wife will laugh if I get it wrong. So I'm going to defer. I'm going to punt that one.
When you said he tied off a cord with whatever it was, and I was like,
a bread tie.
Yeah. How many loaves of bread did he have? Maybe all one cord. I don't know.
That's a great question. On that subject, you actually know this guy, but here in Livingston Parish, Louisiana, the LPSO here, I know Lance Landry had a situation. It might have been late last year or early this year, where he had to deliver a baby with another officer. And the interesting thing about Lance, as you know, is he was an EMT, and he was actually a helicopter EMT prior to joining the sheriff's office. So he had some training, thank God.
I actually got to train him when he was a reserve deputy.
Yep.
I was a field training officer. He's a very sharp individual. I knew he'd do well.
Yeah, what a great guy, and he got some award for that. I can't remember what it was, but shout out to Lance Landry, I guess.
Yeah, and bringing the babies in the world.
That's it.
I bet he's glad he didn't have 3 of them.
I'm sure. I am sure. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even a traveling Woody Overton does a kinky.
Yeah, and this one's different, y'all. This should be your segment, Jim. But it has to do with traveling. And let's take you to El Paso, Texas. And April is a Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. And the FBI is once again taking this opportunity to alert the public about a serious federal crime that is on the rise, which is sexual assault aboard an aircraft.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was a big deal, but evidently it is. Now, while sexual assault can happen anywhere, many people who fly while traveling do not realize that sexual assault can and do occur on airplanes. Most passengers travel by air without incident, but if you or a loved one encounter what you believe is a physical or verbal sexual misconduct, immediately alert your flight attendant. That said, the FBI special agent in charge in El Paso. He said flyers should take precautions and always be aware of their surroundings. In each of its 56 field offices, the FBI has airport liaison agents, or they're called ALAs. I didn't know that. But they're assigned to the nearly 450 U.S. aviation facilities that have passenger screening operations, which are regulated by the TSA. Now, the ALAs respond to crimes aboard aircraft, which is a violation that falls within the FBI special investigative jurisdiction. They said sexual assault aboard an aircraft is a felony that can be punishable by prison. And many incidents are not reported immediately or not reported at all. Law enforcement urges anyone who believes they've been sexually assaulted to alert a member of the flight crew. Now, in-flight sexual assaults generally occur on longer flights than when the cabin is dark. The victims are usually in the middle or window seats, sleeping and covered with a blanket or a jacket. Victims report waking up to find the perpetrator's hands inside their clothing or underwear. Many passengers may consume alcohol or take prescription drugs to relax or sleep, and this can both lend a false sense of security and may tempt the offenders to find these victims vulnerable. Now, in addition, offenders are known to take advantage of the fact that some victims might not report an incident because they're embarrassed and they don't want to cause a scene, or may try to convince themselves the assault was accidental. Now, here are some of the suggested precautions passengers can take before and during the flight. 1, trust your gut. Offenders will often test their victims, sometimes pretending to brush against them to see how they react, or if they wake up. If such behavior occurs, you got to establish boundaries and consider asking to be moved to another seat. 2, recognize that mixing alcohol with sleeping pills or other medication on an overnight flight increases your risk, right? 3, if your seatmate is a stranger, no matter how polite he or she may seem, keep the armrest down, between you. 4, if you're arranging for a child to fly on a company, try to reserve an aisle seat so flight attendants can keep a closer watch on them. Minors are known targets. And 5, if an incident happens, report it immediately to the flight crew and ask if they record the attacker's identity and report the incident, and they can alert law enforcement if necessary. So anyway,
yeah,
just a little public service to y'all. I didn't really, I guess it happens everywhere, but evidently it's on the rise on airplanes.
Look, you've been hearing about it. How many mile-high crimes have I done where these guys are doing stuff like that? Yeah, it seems like it is on the rise. And so much so that they're having to release an alert on it, which... Right. I mean, for the FBI to come out, the government to come out and write anything type of alert, it's a big deal, right? That's right. And I got one more for you today, right. and this is a WTF. How about that? What the fuck? Yeah, I definitely said that when I read this, and we're going to bring you to Florida and road rage. How about that? We that's definitely on the rise. An incident took a saucy turn when a Florida man got fed up with glaring headlights and resorted to flinging pasta with sauce at another driver, striking him through his open window. Nolan Goings, who is 46, was arrested with battery after the food fight that took place in St. Petersburg, Florida. This was around 9 p.m. on last Thursday, according to an arrest affidavit from the, you guessed it, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. You can't make that up. You can't make. I mean, they wild in Pinellas. They've been crazy. The road rage incident stemmed from those glaring headlights I told you about. Goings hit the man who was driving his car. He escaped the pasta attack unscathed without injuries, though he did have sauce all over his arms, legs, and torso. Goings was later found with the same food stains on his right sleeve of his shirt, so they knew he was the one that did it, and he was taken into custody. So that's one way to handle it. Pasta road rage. Pasta road rage, man. And had to clean the sauce off of him, right? Oh my God. Yeah, and it's crazy with these new LED headlights that they have, or I say new, they've been around a little while, but some of them are super bright and you think somebody's riding and passing in front of you with their brights on, when in reality they're not. It's just these lights are so bright. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So maybe that was the situation, but at least you took the pocket instead of bullets. Yeah, that's right. So, that's right. Yeah. We do want to shout out, the America's favorite Dancing with the Star, right? Our own little lifer, Lori Johnson, won the Dancing with the Stars for Big Buddy competition in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it was awesome. I was there. She did amazing. She danced to Tina Turner's Proud Mary. How about that?
Right.
That's a great
I got
song.
to see the video. I think you're the one that posted the video of it. Her actually doing dancing, and the best baker chickie in the world's got some moves.
She got some moves, man.
Great.
She got some moves. And look, the best part of the whole thing, she raised almost $30,000 for the Big Buddy
amazing
program.
She's awesome. We love you, Laura Johnson, and thanks for Hancock for Whitney for letting her be in the contest and representing them. And what a great cause. But she looks beautiful,
Yes.
and I think she just did a heck of a job.
She really did.
And she won.
She won. She rocked it. So shout out to her. Any final thoughts, Mr. Woody Everton?
No, I just love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all deal with the sound issues, for the next couple of episodes, and then we'll be back straight. And just love y'all, and thank you for liking and sharing. And please go leave us a review if you're so inclined. And best fans in the world, no, hands down, best fans in the world.
Nobody liked the Lifers, that's for sure.
Right, that's right.
All right, until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Everton.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily, peace.
Peace.